You are listening to Give Me a Mic, Pro Wrestling Podcast with Chris Day and Wilson Detres.
Welcome to Give Me a Mic, Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is August 13th, 2018. I am Wilson Detres.
And I'm Chris Day. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, it's another day, and it's a sad day in pro wrestling, unfortunately, because...
It is, indeed.
Actually, this morning at 6:30 a.m., Jim The Anvil Neidhart passed away at the age of 63. He, apparently, from what I read, he died from a head injury, and which led to convulsions and seizures, and, unfortunately, ended in his death, which is very sad, and he is the father of WWE superstar Natalya, so prayers and thoughts go out to her as well.
Yeah, detail is still coming out about that, but that's broke just a few hours before we started recording today, so, I'm sure more details come out, but it's just a week after the passing of Nikolai Volkov and also Brian Christopher as well. Yeah,
Brian Christopher. I'm not familiar with Nikolai Volkov. He's way before my time.
True.
But... yeah, Brian Christopher, he's from our era,
The Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era, Too Cool. He was Grandmaster Sexy and
former tag team champion.
Yep, with Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi and all that. So, bizarre circumstances surrounding his death. It was ruled a suicide, which is sad, but they're still under investigation and stuff. And
yes, there are some people who think it was not a suicide, but we're not going to speculate that because we don't know.
Yeah. So, our thoughts again go out to Jerry Lawler and his family.
All the families involved in all the recent deaths, which are, they're all unfortunate.
Very much so. Very much so. So let's hope nothing happens anytime soon.
Yes. We don't need any more deaths anytime soon.
Not at all. Not at all. But let's move on. We paid our tribute there, and let's move on to SummerSlam.
SummerSlam is 6 days away as of this recording.
Brooklyn, New York, right?
Brooklyn, New York. It is the fourth year in a row, I believe it's in Brooklyn, because Takeover is Brooklyn IV. So I'm assuming it's the fourth year in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably going to be the last year in Brooklyn because WrestleMania goes to New York next year, and I don't think Mania is getting New York and SummerSlam next year. Both big shows.
You never know.
You never know, but...
Wait, didn't they announce WrestleMania's location next? Oh, that's right.
It's at MetLife in New Jersey.
Never mind.
But... yeah, Mania is at MetLife in New Jersey, but everything else is going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, which is the home of SummerSlam and NXT this coming weekend.
Let me look that up quick. Anyways, go on.
So do you want to do NXT Takeover first, or do you want to do SummerSlam first?
Let's do SummerSlam first.
Because SummerSlam is going to be the less less impactful show. Because NXT, let's face it, NXT is way better.
It is, and we might as well get SummerSlam out of the way.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm fine with getting SummerSlam out of the way. A lot of matches for SummerSlam. I've heard it's going to be a 2-hour pre-show, just like Mania was.
2-hour Why?
Because it's SummerSlam, I guess. I'm not sure. I will be at SummerSlam Live, by the way. Just throw that out there. And
it's unfortunate for you. The only matches I'm jealous for is the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship.
I hope Samoa Joe wins, but we'll get into that.
I can see that happening.
There's a few good ones that I'm interested in. Most of them, not so much. Like the one that'll probably open the pre-show or the kickoff show, which is Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Almas and Zelina Vega. I don't really see how this got onto the second biggest show of the year. This could really be a Smackdown match. I mean, let's face it.
Right, it's on the pre-show.
We're assuming it's on the pre-show. I'm not even sure that's guaranteed yet.
Well, let's go with that right now that it's on the pre-show. Not everyone's going to watch it. It's one of those filler matches just to get it out of the way. And no one's really interested. Rusev just had a WWE Championship match last month at Extreme Rules, which actually surprised me because it was actually very good.
And how far he fell in 1 month.
Right. And Almas is probably going to go over. I mean...
You'd have to assume he's going to go over. He looked very good against AJ Styles a few weeks ago on SmackDown, by the way.
Okay.
Styles beat him, but it was a pretty good match.
Yeah, Almas,
he showed that he could hang. Let's put it that way.
Former NXT champion.
True.
Let's go on.
Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin again.
Finn Balor should be Universal Champion or the WWE Champion right now. The fact that he's not in any of those championship pictures, title pictures, is a crime. He never got his one-on-one rematch after he was unfortunately injured and had to relinquish the title.
That is very true.
Which bothers me. I don't know why they do that. They did that with Daniel Bryan too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's going on. He's taking the back seat to Roman and Braun. But if he's going to be treated like that, doing these stupid pre-show matches with Baron Corbin and stuff, he's better off on SmackDown.
He better not lose to Baron Corbin, because the last thing he needs to be buried any further than he already has been.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, the Cruiserweight Championship, Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak.
Oh. Why Drew Gulak?
I'm not sure.
Why not Buddy Murphy?
Be completely honest, I don't watch 205 Live.
I don't either, but I do know what? Okay. Yeah, Buddy Murphy, Hideo Itami,
Akira Tozawa, he's pretty good.
Akira Tozawa, Brian Kendrick. You have a pretty decent list of guys there. Oh, Leo Rush, as well, who's a phenomenal talent. So you have a pretty decent roster there. I don't know why this isn't a multi-man match or something.
I mean, I feel like Cedric Alexander is just basically going one-on-one through the entire Cruiserweight division.
True, but there's nothing wrong with Drew Gulak. I'm sure it's
absolutely not.
I'm sure it's going to be a decent match, but I would have loved to see him and Buddy Murphy again, him and Leo Rush. That'd be incredible.
Quite frankly, the match that Alexander and Mustafa Ali had at Mania, that should have been on the main card.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't, and it was never going to be, but it was a fantastic match.
I agree.
And I could see the same thing happening, in this for this match at SummerSlam.
So who do you see going over?
I think Alexander retains. I think they're trying to really build the whole division around him.
I'm fine with that.
And I mean, I'm not sure who would challenge him next, but
Leo Rush.
You think so? Yeah, that would make sense.
Or a returning Neville.
That would be awesome. I would love to see Neville come back. But honestly, if Neville comes back, he should be on one of the main shows and be in an actual feud. Because Neville is just too good, and I think he's worthy of moving past the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, we'll talk about Neville later. Actually, that's actually something I definitely wanted to talk about too. We haven't seen him in a year now.
It's getting close if it hasn't been a whole year yet.
Yeah,
and
September
I think
he left.
Was it really that long ago?
September.
Really?
He left after No Mercy in September when he lost to Enzo.
He lost it that long ago? I thought it was early.
Right. No. That's true because he lost the title to Enzo, and then he was going to have a rematch for the title, and they told him that he was going to lose again to Enzo, and he just left. He didn't show up for that Raw, and then that was the same Raw that Enzo dropped the title to Kalisto.
Yeah, but then he ended up winning it back 2 weeks later anyway, so it was kind of pointless. But yeah,
right. But it was almost a year ago. So
Neville, hey, you're gonna lose again. Well, Neville's like, nope, I'm not doing that, and doesn't show up. And then Kalisto beats him.
And I remember when they booked that match, and I sent you a text and Andy a text. I said, and he's a friend of ours for those who are listening. I said, for this match to be believable, Neville's going to have to tone down his talent.
Yep. Yes.
To get through this match. And what ends up happening? Enzo goes over.
And it was just
effortlessly, which is frustrating, but move on. Let's just move on.
Yeah, well, now Enzo's trying to have a rap career or something, so shows you how long that lasted.
Right.
Moving on, a match that has been building for years and years and years, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
That's 8 years in the making.
Well, I mean, they had a feud for the U.S. title back when.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
But yeah, after Daniel Bryan was had to retire from the ring, which was ended up being temporarily, Miz on Talking Smack and all that things. That rivalry's been building.
Well, let's not forget The Miz was Bryan's NXT Pro in the original NXT back in 2010.
Yes, the original game show version of NXT, essentially.
Right. I won't be surprised if this match. It's going to be good. Excuse me, but I won't be surprised if they do it again at Mania.
Really think they extended that long?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they would probably pause it between now and maybe January, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did it at Mania. They probably won't. They're probably just getting it out of the way now.
And, it
hasn't had a proper build. It
really hasn't. I think I could see it even going to next month to Hell in a Cell. But I could see The Miz winning. I think The Miz could use a big win like this.
The Miz has improved a lot in the last 2 years.
In my opinion, I think The Miz should be in a title picture. And I mean a world title picture.
Yeah. And it's funny because I don't like The Miz. in a sense of I don't like his wrestling ability, but his mic skills are incredible.
Agreed.
He can take a mic and he can cut a promo really, really well, and he can think from the top of his head, and he knows what to say, and in any situation and whatnot. And he hasn't. I'll admit it, and I'll give him credit. He has improved a lot in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, definitely. And I think somewhere along the way, I think almost the winner of this match could face the next WWE champion. I could see Miz and Styles being a feud, or I could see Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe being a feud.
You know what? I agree. Unfortunately,
I could see Bryan versus Styles also, but that's two faces, and typically you don't get that.
Right. But who do you think is going over?
I'm going to say The Miz is going over. I am.
The Miz?
I think there's more to the feud to continue.
Yeah, there's more to it. I agree. You go on. And a loss for Bryan won't hurt him.
That's true, yeah. Loss won't hurt Bryan after he made, Big Cass tap out a couple times. Hey, Big Cass, how you doing? Anyway, moving on. The Smackdown Live Tag Team Championships, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day. I feel
What's
like...
Big Cassidy doing in the Impact Zone?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Anyway, go on. What was the match?
The Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the Smackdown tag titles.
That's on the card?
That's on the card, yes.
Why is New Day getting another tag team title shot?
I got a better question. Why is New Day probably going to win the tag team titles at SummerSlam?
To set up what? Undisputed Era coming into the main roster?
Either Undisputed Era or Sanity. Both can be the Freebird rules. I could see a six-man Hell in a Cell for the tag straps with all 6 members involved.
Yep, you can use a Freebird rule. I don't care who wins this match. I don't.
I think the Bludgeon Brothers title reign has run its course. I think the New Day's...
I think the Bludgeon Brothers name has run its course. Just call them Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
We know who they are. They didn't even change their gimmick. They changed their shirts. They still come out, even Rowan comes out with the sheep mask on still.
Right.
It's a little creepier, but it's still the same sheep mask. It's not like it's changed.
Right. It's still... We know who they are.
They dress in, purple now instead of, a tank top and jeans. It's not really anything different. So... Yeah, I think that's run its course. I think the New Day's going to win and set up either putting over Sanity or Undisputed Era going forward. That's how I see it.
I'm good with Undisputed Era going to SmackDown. Do not send them to Raw.
No.
Don't send anybody to Raw. Just send everybody to SmackDown.
Someone needs to go to Raw because Raw is suffering badly.
Or keep them on NXT.
Especially in the tag division.
Okay.
By the way, this is... we're recording this before Raw takes place tonight. But to show you how good Raw's tag division is, that tag team title match is happening tonight on Raw and not at SummerSlam.
What's that?
It's the B Team versus the Deleter of Worlds versus the Revival.
Oh my!
So by the time you hear this, that match has already happened.
Which I hope the Revival go. Oh my goodness! There's so much I get off my chest. The Revival. Why is the Revival and the Authors of Pain on Raw and not doing anything?
Well, I think
the top 2 tag teams in NXT in the last maybe two years.
Yep.
Excluding the Undisputed Era. Why are they on Raw and not doing anything?
For what it's worth,
Authors of Pain were brought on TV the night after Mania, and then they showed up for maybe 2 weeks after, right? And they had no TV time for 2.5 months.
Yep. And now they just kind of showed up again. I would like to say my prediction personally is the Revival wins and they pin Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy jobs to everyone lately apparently in tag matches. And that way, the B team could still claim they're undefeated because they weren't actually beaten. They'll do that whole technicality bullshit where they weren't actually pinned.
Sure.
Blah, 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 blah. But that match is tonight on Raw, which...
Can I just point out...
is not at SummerSlam.
This is irrelevant to the subject, but can I just point out that when the B team won the tag team championships at Extreme Rules, it just made it all seem that The Miz being drafted to SmackDown meant that The Miz was actually holding them back.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Also, the B team had a cool theme song, and that got taken away from them.
What? Really?
Last week they debuted a new theme song that was basically B team, blah blah blah, hooray, bullshit.
Oh.
And I'm just you took away a cool theme song from them. Was it? I guess it was too cool for those characters to have. I'm not even sure who the theme song was by, so if anybody knows, let me know because I'd love to download it. I couldn't find it online. Moving forward. What should be one of the best matches on the card,
Sure.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship.
this is a match that should have happened at Extreme Rules.
Yes.
I loved how Nakamura won the title. I'm actually surprised that this isn't a triple threat with Orton.
Yeah, I was surprised by that also, considering how prominent he's been featured in that feud on TV. I thought it was going to be a triple threat. Orton's not on the card. I'm sure he's going to be... He will be there, yeah. But as it stands right now, it is just a one-on-one match.
This is WWE saying... This is the company saying, okay, Nakamura, we're not going to give you the WWE Championship. You're going to actually lose to Styles on 3 different pay-per-views. But hey...
And a draw on another one.
So, you know what? Just take the United States Championship.
Yep. It's pretty much they do with everyone. Like they did it with Roman last year.
And Corbin.
Yep, Corbin. Oh, yeah, Corbin loses money in the bank.
Yep.
Oh, like 2 weeks later you win the U.S. title. Oh, that makes up for it.
Yeah, here's the U.S. title, you know. You're a mid-card champion. Don't worry about it.
Yep, pretty much that's how it works.
But I'm not opposed to Nakamura as a U.S. champion. I'm actually a fan of his heel turn.
I was a fan of the heel turn, and they mishandled it with the feud with Styles.
Yes. It could still work.
He needs to win to keep any credibility, though. Yeah, he's got to build that credibility back.
Right. So, who do you think is going to go over?
Nakamura's got to go over, and I think whether it's clean or not, I think Orton will be involved with the feud with Jeff Hardy still, and then we'll set up maybe Hardy versus Orton at Hell in a Cell or something. Not necessarily in a cell, but they're 2 main event guys that could be in the cell if they wanted to go that route.
No, let me clarify. Hell in a Cell is next month, right?
I believe that is the next show after SummerSlam. Yes.
What? Then why is it? What's in October?
Evolution.
What?
Evolution.
The
women's pay-per-view.
That's official?
Where have you been? That was announced like weeks ago.
I've been under a rock.
Apparently. I know you said you don't have internet service lately, but that was announced weeks ago. It was all women's pay-per-view.
Are you kidding me?
I am not.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to it, but this is really?
For what it's for those of you who don't know, because we haven't done a show since that was announced actually.
Right.
Evolution takes place on October 28th from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. Featured on the show will be a Raw Women's title match, a Smackdown Women's title match, the NXT Women's title, and the finals of the Mae Young Classic.
That's actually really entertaining.
Yes. I'm not sure if those are on sale yet or not. I actually considered going because they're bringing back some of the legends and whatnot.
Right.
But, I'm wondering if it's going to be like...
And you'll get a special appearance by the Bella Twins.
Yeah, something like that will probably happen. But, I'm wondering if they're going to panic like they do the 205 Live tour, where it was a Cruiserweight tour, but had a special attraction of Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy on it.
Special attraction.
I'm wondering if they're going to, it's an all-women's pay-per-view until, the special appearance of, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin or something, just to, get the big dog on the show.
No. They could certainly do an all-women's pay-per-view and make it work.
Quite frankly, I think it'll sell out. I really do.
Yeah.
Because they'll have Ronda Rousey facing somebody, probably for the Raw Women's title. Maybe even, it might be Alexa Bliss again, who knows. But they're going to have something big going down for that show. But yeah, all-women's pay-per-view. That's October 28th. I'm not sure how you didn't know about that.
I'm living under a rock, apparently. So, Hell in a Cell is next month. Okay.
Yes, we'll get official on that. But yeah, I believe Hell in a Cell is next.
Right,
Moving forward, Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins.
Ooh. Let me point out.
I'm wondering where they're going to go with this match, considering they had the stipulation last month of the 30-minute Iron Man. I feel like, Drew McIntyre, if he's going to be at ringside or whatnot.
Let me point out that I was very pleased with their main event last month.
Yes. Very happy that main event of the show. Great match.
It was a great match. I know what you're going to say. The ending screwed it up. I don't agree with it because Ziggler's a heel, so he's going to win he's going to use heel tactics.
Yeah, but there was no need to do the extra overtime for 5 seconds just to have Ziggler retain anyway. They could have had...
Well, the reason they did that was so both guys can look good and credible.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a tie.
Because Rollins gets screwed at the end.
And then they make it look like Rollins would have won had this not happened.
I felt like they could have just had Ziggler have the one fall lead, Rollins hits the stomp, and just runs out of time by a couple seconds. That way it looks like he would have tied him, but, just he lost by a couple seconds. That's how it would have ended.
But I was very, like you said, I was very happy that was the main event.
Yeah, I expect this to be an incredible match. I could actually see it opening the show because of, the crowd in Brooklyn's always on fire. They are. I've been in the crowd before for NXT and for Raw after SummerSlam, and for actually a Raw before Mania one year. The crowd is always on fire there.
And you've been at SummerSlam before. So.
I've never been to Summerslam before. This is the first time I've been to SummerSlam. That's why I'm excited to go.
Oh wow, okay. So who's going over?
I don't know if I can see Rollins losing again. I think Rollins goes over.
Okay.
And I can almost see this feud continuing with Drew McIntyre in a triple threat, or Rollins versus McIntyre and Ziggler does something else. I'm not really sure.
I would say, yeah, probably Rollins will go over.
I think Rollins goes over, but I don't think this feud is over its entirety yet. Whether it's Rollins and Ziggler again, Rollins and McIntyre, a triple threat, etc. Maybe McIntyre gets involved and Dean Ambrose shows up. Who knows? I'm pretty sure he's ready to go. Either that, or he could be the night after Raw's, the Raw after SummerSlam return. I expect to see Dean Ambrose sooner than later.
Exactly. Move forward.
Now here's an interesting one, in my opinion. Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens can win the briefcase by countout or disqualification as well.
Dude.
I'm going to start off by saying I think Kevin Owens wins and he cashes in at SummerSlam. Just saying. I'm saying that right now.
I certainly hope that happens because I am not a fan of Braun Strowman, and I have been very vocal about that.
You hate Braun Strowman.
I hate Braun Strowman.
And let's face it, he does not need the briefcase.
He doesn't need to be working there. He doesn't. Owens or Balor should have won the Money in the Bank last month.
Agreed. Absolutely. I think Miz should have won too, or as another person who could have won. Or in the Smackdown show, but
Miz too, yeah.
But yeah, Braun Strowman didn't need it.
No,
hasn't needed it, and I think KO could. He doesn't have to beat Braun Strowman. Braun can look strong. He can lose by countout or disqualification. He doesn't have to get pinned to lose. KO needs it more than anybody, I think, who could use it.
Right.
And can you just imagine? I mean, we'll get to this in a little while. We talk about Lesnar and Reigns, but imagine KO pinning the winner, coming out after the match is over. Well, we'll come back to that in a little while. I think KO wins.
I certainly hope so. I really hope so. I just don't want to see Braun as champion. Go on.
SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Carmella, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch in a triple threat. Please, 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 Becky Lynch needs to win.
I'm surprised that Carmella held the championship this long.
Yes, I am as well.
I'm going to be honest. Carmella's not that good.
I think everyone knows that, to be honest.
She's hot, but she's not that good.
I don't even think she's that good looking, to be honest. I think Charlotte and Becky are both better good looking than her.
She's got a nice body. Her face is hideous. But
too much makeup and fake tan.
But she's got a nice body. She's got the face of a truck driver. But I'm surprised she's been champion for so long.
Yes.
She's been heavily protected. Now, what's going on with James Ellsworth? He's just faded out?
I guess he had fired on TV a couple weeks ago.
So he was brought back for like 3 weeks and that's it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he even had a deal. I think he was just there for a few weeks to fill in kind of, to, kind of push the Asuka feud forward and keep Carmella with the belt. James Ellsworth has a bunch of indie bookings and whatnot, so I don't think he was... He was even doing the indie bookings even while he was on TV with WE. So,
and I can see him coming back and forth.
I did say WE.
I can see him coming back and forth periodically.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see that. Anyways,
he'll have he'll take someone's spot in the Rumble this year. I'm sure get tossed in like 4 seconds, but I think everyone likes him backstage and whatnot, and
So back to this, I'm surprised Carmella's been champion for so long. I think it's time that they just take the belt off of her. And Becky Lynch needs a hell of a lot more than Charlotte and Carmella do. And
I'd be okay with a Charlotte and Becky feud, but I really want to see Becky Lynch with the title back. I think she deserves it. Charlotte's had it 5 times already?
She's only had it once, but...
Well, the SmackDown one. Counting the Raw one, too. We're going 4 Raw and 1 SmackDown? Yeah. So we're 5-time champion already. Plus the NXT if you want to count that.
7 if you count the Divas title.
Well, that was in the same reign, though. Because it became the women's title at Mania 32. Yeah, it did. She came into 32 as the Divas champion and left with the women's title.
I understand that. But she came in as Divas champion. That title was retired, and she won the new WWE
That's stupid. That's like saying when
that's what they said on TV.
That's like saying the New Day tag title reign should have ended at like 4 something when it became the Raw tag team titles instead. It was the same title reign, though.
But it was true. But yeah, the way they presented it was Charlotte walked in as the Divas champion, right? She was champion maybe 200 plus days or whatever.
Whatever it was,
and then immediately when the match started, the Divas title was retired. So she went into that match as not a champion. She was she wasn't Divas champion anymore.
I wonder if she still has the butterfly belt at home.
Probably. And then when she won the match, she was awarded the new WWE Women's Championship. So you can count 7 if you count the Divas title.
I'm not. I'm counting this one reign. But okay, the point is she has one SmackDown reign.
Yes.
I don't think she needs another one. I think Becky Lynch needs it. She's been great on TV lately. She's been getting pushed, been getting wins. Mm-hmm. She had a one-on-one match with Charlotte a few weeks ago. Made Charlotte tap out.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So that to disarm her.
Yeah, I hope Becky wins. She definitely deserves it.
Going on to the other women's title match, Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. How fast do you think this match ends, and how much does Alexa Bliss get squashed?
This match probably lasts about 20 seconds.
You think so?
Probably 6 seconds, as long as I would last having sex with Alexa Bliss.
You and me both.
I love Alexa. I love Alexa Bliss. I love her.
Obviously, all our listeners, you don't know that, but Wilson here loves Alexa Bliss.
I love her. That's my wife.
You wish. Keep dreaming.
I wish, right? You're right. This match won't last very long. I could see
Ronda's going over. She is.
Yeah.
Big show. Ronda's going over. What?
Wait a minute. What if? Let's be honest. What if Shayna Baszler loses the title the night prior and then shows up and involved in this match?
I could see that, but I feel like they would want to hold off on that and have Shayna Baszler maybe come up at some point and face her one-on-one almost.
I don't know. Are they going to bring her as an opponent or as an ally? We don't know. So I'm leaning more towards an ally since they want to push this, four horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, after pushing something to that for Mania.
Yeah, so
I could almost see them doing a 4 horsewomen storyline at Mania where there's a 6-woman tag and the main event is Ronda versus Charlotte.
Yeah.
Where they're both champions. I'm not sure.
Yeah, both champions are the leaders of their team.
I still think it's stupid that it's not going to be Ronda versus Asuka next year, where Asuka puts her 4-year undefeated streak on the line against Ronda's undefeated streak, where both of them have an armbar as a finisher. I think that would have made for a better story than Charlotte, who can get beat by Carmella on an episode of Smackdown.
Right.
But, that's just me complaining about nothing. Anyway.
So we both know that Ronda's going over.
If Ronda does not walk out of SummerSlam with the women's title, I will be stunned.
Yeah, she will.
And if Reigns and Lesnar wasn't the main event, that match would close the show, I think, Ronda and Alexa Bliss.
Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss.
Because it's Ronda, but because Lesnar and Reigns on the show, it won't. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship.
Yes, this is one of the matches, one of the maybe 2 or 3 matches that I'm actually looking forward to on SummerSlam.
I expect this match to be phenomenal, and I really hope it's given the time it deserves.
Yeah, should be given at least 30 minutes, to really, really make it a great match. And I really don't care who wins this match. I would like to see Samoa Joe go over, but again, I wouldn't be opposed if Styles retain.
I think his title. I do think Samoa Joe should go over. I'm not sure if he will yet.
Well, think of the pattern. Think of the pattern. All these guys. Nakamura denied the WWE Championship. Now Samoa Joe, TNA guy.
But Samoa Joe Styles is a TNA guy too, and he's had the title for 9 months now? Since November, when he beat Jinder in England. So, yeah, I'm going... I'm going to say Styles retains, and the feud continues to Hell in a Cell.
I can see that. And I wouldn't be opposed to that.
But regardless, it'll be an awesome match, no doubt. And the main event. Yawn. I might just leave early. Because the main event is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again.
Brother, you won't be the only one leaving early.
I went to WrestleMania this year in New Orleans, so I've already seen this match live once this year. I don't want to see it again. I really like. I mean, I'm not sure if Lesnar and Bobby Lashley would have been any better, but at least it would have been different.
When this match was announced, I really couldn't believe that they were doing this again.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable that they're pushing this so hard. Now
that Brooklyn crowd is going to shit on that match hard.
It is. They are. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, I see Roman going over only based on how they booked Brock Lesnar with this whole I don't care about showing up. Give me my medium rare steak. I'd rather be on my couch than be out there type, in his promos that he's saying. So
Brock Lesnar said on TV, I don't watch the show.
Yeah. He said, why would I watch the show?
You've got the Universal Champion on Raw saying he doesn't watch Raw. Like, the way to just bury your own product. I thought it was amazing. I wasn't sure if that was, like, legit or if WWE was just trolling us by having him say that.
I think,
but like
Brock Lesnar, I believe it.
He doesn't watch Raw. There's no way.
I believe it. No, yeah, he doesn't.
My favorite thing about Raw lately, too, is when Braun Strowman comes out and Michael Cole says, Braun Strowman can cash in for a Universal title match whenever he wants. Well, how's he doing that when Brock Lesnar doesn't show up?
So
you know what I can see happening, regardless of who has the briefcase at the end of the night? What if they do a cash-in like Rollins did at Mania 31, where it's during the match?
I can see that.
And Reigns gets pinned again. Lesnar doesn't get pinned. Reigns gets pinned again. Like Reigns spears Lesnar, and like say KO has it, like comes in from behind, like Bliss did to Ronda, nails in the briefcase, cashes in. Reigns gets up, takes a powerbomb, and gets pinned.
Well,
or here's a better option: Lesnar goes over clean.
Here's a better option.
Lesnar goes over clean.
No, here's a better one. Lesnar beats Roman clean, then either KO or Strowman cashes in, and Lesnar still goes over clean.
I could see it now. I could see that happening. Like maybe Lesnar or Ortain or something. He'll get ready to walk out, and like Braun Strowman walks down the ramp with the briefcase, cashes in, and Lesnar just F5s him and wins.
Well,
just to slap everyone in the face.
Listen, why not? At this point, I wouldn't expect anything less from Vince. Now, do you think, as big of a whore as Vince McMahon is for money, do you think that he wants to allow Brock Lesnar to walk into UFC to face Cain Velasquez, right?
No, it's
Cain, who was it?
No, it's
Who's he facing?
I can't remember the UFC heavyweight champion's name. Oh, I'm blanking.
Something.
I'm blanking. No, it's not Cain Velasquez anymore.
Oh,
I don't think he got beat a while ago. I think actually.
Dude.
Oh, it's Daniel Cormier. I knew that. He's got 2 titles.
So he's a UFC heavyweight champion and the light heavyweight champion.
Yes, he beat. I think he beat Miocic at UFC 226. I'm not sure. I didn't watch it, but I know he won. And then Brock Lesnar confronted him. If you go back to the last episode of Give Me a Mic, we actually play the audio of Lesnar on the mic at UFC 226.
Okay. So
where he calls everyone a piece of shit and then says, and I quote, DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker, and then throws the mic in the cameraman's face.
Okay. So, as big of a whore as Vince McMahon is for money, do you think he'll allow Brock Lesnar to walk into the UFC to face Daniel Cormier?
Cormier, yeah. Or Cormier or whatever. However you pronounce it.
To face Daniel Cormier for the UFC Heavyweight Championship with the WWE Universal World Heavyweight Championship around his waist.
I can see it, and there's 2 ways that would go. If Lesnar wins, he looks great, and Vince is probably jerking himself off. If he loses, it just makes WWE look even worse because it just shows how fake WWE actually is and how it's not a real sport basically.
So will he risk? Do you think he would risk it?
I think he would.
He would risk.
I think he would.
He would because let's be honest, the longer Lesnar's Universal World Champion, the more Raw's going to suffer.
Yep.
And he's been champion almost 500 days now.
Yep.
So do you think he would risk it to say, okay, my champion My top world champion is not only the Universal World Champion, but he's also the UFC World the World Heavyweight Champion.
Can you imagine it? Because if Brock Lesnar were to win that fight, whenever it may happen, there's no fight announced for it yet, which is even scarier because it might not take place till next year, like January. If Brock Lesnar, can you imagine? Like, just bear with me though. If Brock Lesnar did retain and he's still a champion,
right?
Can you imagine Brock Lesnar walking out on Raw with the UFC title around his waist? Also,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
that would draw ratings, I think. But do you take the risk of him actually winning? Because that fight ain't scripted.
Right. Would Dana White allow Lesnar to walk into WWE TV with his UFC World Heavyweight title?
I'm not sure if Dana White would allow the fight to actually happen if he's under contract with WWE still.
Oh, everybody's got a price.
Oh, that's true.
I'm sure if you're Vince McMahon, if you're Dana White, you sit in a room with Brock and you say, this is what we want. And let's be honest, Vince is taking the risk more than Dana White is.
True. I think there's a deal in place.
There is.
Because WWE let Lesnar fight on UFC 200 a couple of years ago when he faced Mark Hunt.
Right.
And he beat him.
Right.
They allowed that match to happen, or the fight to happen, and Lesnar beat at SummerSlam a month and a half later.
Yeah.
Is that when Lesnar beat Cena? I think that was 2016, wasn't it?
That was Lesnar beat Cena in 2014. This was when he faced Orton.
Oh, whatever. Same difference. Oh, that's where he busted Orton open. I remember that.
Right. So
Jericho almost fought Brock Lesnar backstage because of it, because he thought it was legit.
Did he really?
It was planned for Orton to get busted open in the end like that, to make Lesnar look strong and, even though he already won, just to bust him open. And Jericho thought he was going into business for himself. Oh. So Jericho, confronted him backstage, and, they had to be separated.
Wow.
Until, it was made clear that was actually a scripted thing to happen.
So, that's the thing. I don't know what Vince is going to do.
Well, SummerSlam...
It would make history for Brock to
would.
be, UFC champion and WWE World Champion at the same time. I don't know. It depends if Vince wants to take that risk.
Well, we're a few days away. Probably when you're listening, it's a few days away. We're 6 days away right now as of this recording.
Let's go with this. We also said, and we also had this conversation, excluding the UFC stuff. Actually, no, including the UFC stuff. We had this conversation before at WrestleMania time, thinking that Roman was going to go over.
Because we thought Lesnar was leaving.
To go to the UFC, and what happened, Brock Lesnar went over and retained.
Clean.
6
F5s. I only saw about 2 of them because I was watching the beach ball that was flying around the crowd at the stadium in New Orleans.
Right.
The Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The crowd is more interested in the beach ball than the main event.
Right.
Just throwing it out there.
So, but, yeah, they can go either way. I don't know. I can see Lesnar losing, but then again, I can also see this whole UFC world, WWE World Champion at the same time thing going
with
over as well.
How the storyline is going. I cannot see Roman Reigns losing to Lesnar again. At least not clean. There's just no way.
Okay,
Roman cannot recover if he loses again.
Now let me say this, because there's so much you could go with. You mentioned Dean Ambrose. What if he comes back and turns heel and costs Roman the match because he feels Roman's getting too many opportunities?
Then Dean Ambrose would be my new favorite wrestler.
So Dean Ambrose is clear to compete. So he's, like you said, I expect him back sooner than later. So,
and I'm actually going to say this right now on this show. This is August 13th, 2018. I think one of the main events of WrestleMania next year in New Jersey is a triple threat: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose for the Universal title. Book it now; it's happening. I'm calling that. I'm calling it.
They already did that 2 years ago at Battleground for the WWE Championship.
Was it a triple threat though?
Yeah, Ambrose went over and retained.
They did a triple threat, really? I thought it was a one-on-one, and because Ambrose had cashed in at Money in the Bank, and Roman was suspended somewhere in there, and the feud. No. It doesn't matter. It's still happening next year at WrestleMania. I don't care if it's already done. It's happening again.
Okay.
On the big show, but don't worry, it's going to play second fiddle to Charlotte and Ronda Rousey main event.
That's probably going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's got to.
So, anyways,
or John Cena Taker Part 2, where John Cena walks in, FU's Taker, and wins in 2 minutes, just like happened this year, so we could set up a third match for Mania 36.
Can I just point out that I'm surprised Cena's not in this card at all?
There were rumors that they were going to do Cena and Taker again.
At SummerSlam?
Yeah. Never came to fruition. I don't know where Cena even is at this point.
You're right, and I did read a rumor that Taker was pitched the storyline for SummerSlam.
Yeah, and
that obviously hasn't fallen.
We never heard, I don't know if we ever heard what the storyline actually was supposed to be. Obviously, it's not happening unless Taker shows up on Raw tonight and magically makes something happen.
True.
Which you never know. But as of this recording, that's not happening. We went through all the matches. Let's move on to the much better show of the weekend, which will be NXT Takeover Brooklyn IV, which is the night before SummerSlam.
Yes, NXT Takeover Brooklyn IV.
Where the talent is.
Yes. WWE's developmental, where, let's be honest, man, like you said,
They're better.
It's light years ahead of the main roster. And it shows you, like, even the writers and the booking and the storyline, and it's more oriented towards the wrestling than it is the showmanship.
Well, Triple H is the booker for NXT.
Right.
Vince is still the head guy in charge for Raw and SmackDown.
And you can see the difference. Like,
you
can see the difference. So, let me go through the card. Velveteen Dream versus EC3.
You know, I feel like Velveteen Dream needs this win.
He does.
It won't even hurt him if he loses. But I think he needs a big win. I do.
The last NXT Takeover match that he won
Going back a ways.
was in January.
I know he had lost Aleister Black last year. Was that last year?
That was at War Games.
He didn't win the ladder match at Takeover New Orleans.
No, but in between the New Orleans and the NXT War Games,
there
was the one before
January Rumble.
That one he won. He faced I forgot who he fought, but he did win that one. But he lost all the other ones.
And he lost to Ricochet recently.
Right.
I know he's had some wins, but he needs a takeover win. I think he's lost a couple in a row here. Was he on the Chicago Takeover? Is that when he faced Ricochet?
Yes.
Yeah, that was when he faced Ricochet.
Yes,
Lost to Ricochet.
that's right. Chicago too.
Great match. That was an awesome match.
Mm-hmm. Stole the show.
But yeah, EC3. I think everyone knows who he is by now from his time in TNA. I don't think he needs the win right now.
Do you think he's gone over as well as he should have? EC3, not Dream.
You know, I mean, I'm not sure.
He's gone over enough.
He's over enough. He's not. I think if he comes to the main roster, he'd be a mid card guy again.
Yeah,
I don't think he's world champion in WWE's eyes. But I mean, he's certainly in a better position than he was when he was Derek Bateman years ago on the original NXT. I'm not sure how he was able to keep the name EC3. Obviously, he's not called Ethan Carter III on NXT. It's just right. EC3, but he is doing the same TNA gimmick. The 1% guy. You know, it's almost like a newer version of Alberto Del Rio. You know, he's in the 1%. He's better than you, but Dream. Let's just get down to it. Dream wins. Velveteen Dream wins.
I will continue to do this because I am very high on the Velveteen Dream. He is a future NXT champion or NXT North American champion or both. He's only 22, man, and he's got his man.
I think with how young he is, he should stay on NXT for like another 2 years, and he should be like the face of that brand with a title, build up a bunch of other guys, and then when the time comes, move him to the main roster.
Yes.
Especially because you guys have Cena's a part-time guy, he's older now. Styles is like 40. Samoa Joe's getting up there. Orton's getting up there. All these guys are getting up there in age. Even like Ziggler's like I think 37 or 38. They're getting up there in age, and you can have Velveteen Dream waiting in the wings for a couple years. He can still come up when he's 25.
Yeah.
Like, he could be 3 years. He's only 25 when he comes up.
Right.
And you can have him he could be the face of a show for years.
He can.
He's certainly has the charisma, and he's only going to get better.
Yes.
He's 22, which, by the way, I'm 27, so I feel like shit as it is for that. He's 22, and he's in the WWE on NXT.
Well, he got signed when he was 19.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder. You know what I was doing when I was 19? Trying to, suffer my way through college, paying thousands of dollars for a degree that I'm not using. Because college is a lie, folks. Don't go to college, kids. If you do, go to community college. You only go to college if you're going to be a doctor or
Why is that, Chris?
because college sucks and your degree will get you nowhere. I have a bachelor's degree and not working in my field. Let's put it that way.
I don't have a degree.
And you make more money than I do, so...
I'm doing just fine now. So, and since we're giving life lessons here, don't get married until you're well established and you have a house for yourself.
And you have a prenup written up also.
Absolutely. Just do that. Don't just jump into something. And how does this relate to pro wrestling? It doesn't.
It doesn't. We're just rambling now.
Don't just Don't just get into something and then all of a sudden decide to, build everything and then you could end up losing everything.
Give me a mic, pro wrestling podcast with life lessons involved.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, don't forget to subscribe and like this video.
And share it.
Also, you can find us on Facebook at End of the Day Entertainment.
And you can find me on Facebook, Wilson A. Detros. Anyways,
We'll tell you all this crap again at the end of the video, too. Moving forward on the next match of the card.
Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship.
I think this is where Shayna Baszler gets her revenge for losing the Mae Young Classic.
You don't think Kairi Sane's going over?
I don't. I think Shayna Baszler's going to be booked to look very strong, and Kairi Sane beat her at the Mae Young Classic, and I think this is Shayna Baszler's... Even though she has the belt now, I think this is her retribution here. And for what it's worth, I love Kairi Sane, by the way.
I think...
I do like the Pirate Princess.
I'm just trying to get through her title reign. I don't like her as champion.
No, I don't either.
So I just want to get over with it and like, all right, whatever. Next.
Yeah, next.
Just like women do with me.
Well, I can't. I can't wait for Shayna Baszler to come to the main card and her fierce feud with Bayley, who will just get destroyed.
So, I think I really want Kairi Sane to go over, but I think you're right. I can see Baszler getting a revenge. Moving forward, NXT Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain. Now, the Undisputed Era actually lost the tag team titles, the NXT tag team titles,
to Mustache Mountain.
To Mustache Mountain in England during the United Kingdom Championship Tournament weekend.
Yep.
That show that they had. And they lost it. They lost it that night, and they won it back the next night, I believe it was.
It was very short reign, only like a 1 or 2 day reign.
Okay. So they won it back.
Not sure what the point.
That was in June.
The only point of that was to give the England guys the win.
Right. And that was in June, so we're in August now. So what do you think? Who do you think is going over?
I think Mustache Mountain goes over. Because I think the Undisputed Era is coming to the main roster very soon. Not necessarily right for SummerSlam, but I think they'll lose, get a rematch on TV or something like that, lose that, and eventually they're coming up. I'm not really sure, though. I think Mustache Mountain's winning. By the way, just point out I hate myself because Tyler Bate, 20, 21?
20. 21.
Awesome. Someone told me he was dating Liv Morgan, too.
Is he?
I think it was Liv Morgan, maybe it was Mandy Rose.
He's dating Mandy Rose?
It was one of the two.
Oh, she's another one.
It was one of the blonde ones. I'm not sure. I don't even know if that's confirmed. That's just a rumor I heard. But if he is...
I want to date Mandy Rose.
If he's dating Mandy Rose, one, he's had a match of the year already with Pete Dunne.
Yes.
He's a former UK champion.
Yes.
A former NXT Tag Team champion.
Yep.
And if he's dating one of those two, well, Tyler Bate, go fuck yourself. But I love you in the ring.
I love Mandy Rose, by the way. Not very talented, but I love her.
Yeah, her stripper theme song that she has now. It's like the blonde Eva Marie, basically, is what's
pretty
going on
much
there.
Moving. I agree. I can see Mustache Mountain winning. Let's go forward. Well, actually, is Bobby Fish cleared to compete?
I'm not sure.
Because it says Undisputed Era. We don't know which combination of the four. So, anyways, let's move forward from the NXT Tag Team titles to the NXT North American Championship. NXT North American Champion Adam Cole defending against Ricochet.
This all depends if Undisputed Era is coming to the main roster.
I was just about to say that. If your theory proves correct, Ricochet's going over. If it's not, then Adam Cole retains.
Yeah, I agree. It really is all depending on if they're coming up or not to the main roster. I think if they're not, Adam Cole retains, and if they are, Ricochet wins and takes the North American title.
Yep. To be honest, I don't care who wins.
No, I don't either. They're both great talents,
Yeah.
so it really doesn't make a difference who wins. But yeah, I think Adam Cole. Well, we just went over it. Really, whether or not they're coming up. That's all I can really say about this match. It's going to be a phenomenal match. Could be the match of the night.
Right.
But the outcome is going to be determined on whether they're coming up or not now.
Okay. Now, this might be match of the year. I'm just saying it now. Last man standing match for the NXT Championship. The NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa, defending against Johnny Gargano in their third, and I presume final match at TakeOver Brooklyn IV. Who's walking away champion?
Tommaso Ciampa.
I said this before a number of episodes ago. Actually, yeah, right before what did they face each other at? Was it Chicago?
Yeah, and it was both New Orleans and Chicago. Gargano won the first one.
Well, it was Chicago because we didn't start Give Me a Mic at
New Orleans. We didn't do it beforehand.
Right. So I said this before in the Chicago match, or before or after the Chicago match, that they were going to fight at TakeOver Brooklyn IV, excuse me.
You predicted the first ever NXT Hell in a Cell.
I said it was going to be the first ever NXT Hell in a Cell match. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. They should do that. But they're going with last man standing instead, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, so
Tommaso Ciampa won the NXT title on July 25th when he defeated then-champion Aleister Black for the title. This was originally supposed to be a triple threat involving Aleister Black. Unfortunately, Aleister Black suffered an injury, was unable to compete, so they're going in this route, which I think is the better route, to end the feud.
There was no stipulation needed anyway prior because triple threat rules are no disqualification regardless.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
With Blackout, I think they had to put the stipulation in there for Gargano and Ciampa.
Right. Oh, man. I really want Gargano to win because I just want him to finally get that win that just sets him, gets him going, and he's an NXT champion and whatnot, and he deserves it. But goddamn, Tommaso Ciampa is so freaking good, man.
He can't lose. He needs long reign.
Tommaso Ciampa is probably the best heel that I've seen in the company in the last 6-7 years, at least.
Yep.
At least. When he goes out there, he gets genuine heat from the crowd. It's not just bullshit heat. It's genuine.
Yes.
Genuine fuck you Ciampa chants.
Well, that's what happens when you spoil the Avengers on Twitter for people.
Yes. Come on, he spoiled the Avengers on Twitter on purpose just to get heat.
Spoiling the. I actually didn't see it. I don't even call it in the Marvel movies. I don't even know what he spoiled anyway.
Right.
But the fact that he did it is just amazing in my book, because that movie broke so many box office records.
Right.
That he spoiled the people who are going to see the movie. He probably saw it in the 7 p.m. Opening showing of it the night before it came out, and then spoiled it immediately so everyone would see it, just to get heat as a superstar.
Yep.
That's not even a necessary move. That's just a dick move, which is why he has genuine heat.
And I want to also point out that last year at NXT Takeover Chicago, when he turned heel and turned on Johnny Gargano,
which everyone saw coming.
I didn't see it coming.
Really?
Dude, they went up to the stage. It was gonna happen. It was gonna happen in the ring.
Yeah, that's what everyone was waiting for.
And then before it happened, we got logoed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was gonna
everyone
happen.
Thought, I feel there was rumors that that was gonna happen. They were gonna break up, and then they had the match, and they're going up the ramp, and they have their arms up, and the logo comes up, and everyone thinks, I guess it's not happening. Right. And then Gargano died.
But let's also point out that Ciampa tore his ACL in that match.
Yeah, so that...
And he was out for almost a year, right?
That kind of hurt the feud there.
It hurt the feud. Actually, it hurt the feud, but I think in the long run...
It was beneficial to have that happen?
Very beneficial to have that happen. Why? Because Tommaso Ciampa came back better than he did before. He came back bigger than he did before. And he came back more motivated and hungry than he did before.
Yeah,
Tommaso Ciampa when he came back, how do you come back bigger muscle-wise through the surgeries, through the rehab, through everything that you've gone through, to come back bigger, badder, more motivated, more hungry, more agile, everything. And Johnny Gargano in that time frame improving himself and establishing himself as a fan favorite and as a main eventer, it was very beneficial. They needed that time gap. And Ciampa definitely proved that, he's dedicated and whatnot. So same with Gargano.
And I think the feud benefited from having that, Ciampa attacks him, but then he's away for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then he came back and attacked him again.
Yeah, exactly.
They had the feud. Gargano won the first one. Ciampa won the second one. And now it's for the title in the third one. Mm-hmm. Still wish Aleister Black was in the match, too, because it would have provided a new element to the feud. But I'm happy to see this match happen.
Yeah. Now, is it fair to say that the loser of this match goes to the main roster?
I could see it. Because I just don't see how much more you can get out of this feud or keeping them both on NXT in new feuds. I think whoever's got the title is obviously going to stay on NXT and work another feud maybe with Velveteen Dream, Ricochet if he doesn't win, or maybe Ricochet or Adam Cole and the results of that. EC3 possibly, Aleister Black when he comes back. We're not sure what's going on with that. Because Aleister Black was attacked mysteriously. I believe he's injured. I'm not sure what his injury is. But I think he was written off TV for an injury.
Now, do you think they could have given Ciampa the title just to give it to Gargano?
No, because I feel like that would just hurt Ciampa. If they have him end Aleister Black's undefeated streak just to lose, although in the situation that we find ourselves in now at Last Man Standing, Ciampa doesn't have to get pinned.
Right. So
there is that effect. It doesn't really matter for either one of them. If they can put on a good match, the loser's not going to be pinned. So we could see, I could see either outcome happening.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, it's a tough one. By the way, so far, with their New Orleans match and their Chicago match, which one do you like better?
Oof. Chicago was just so good.
Yes.
It was just so good.
Yes, it was. It was incredible. How did you like the ending of that? He was handcuffed.
I hated the ending.
What? Why?
I hated the ending.
Why?
Because it was a street fight and officials were pulling Gargano off of Ciampa.
Yeah, that's because
that was stupid.
That's because he was getting repeatedly kicked in the head.
It was a street fight. The match wasn't over yet.
But he's getting kicked.
I don't care. The match wasn't over yet.
The man's handcuffed and he's tapping.
Yeah. Well, but the official didn't see it, so the match was still going. I was so mad that officials pulled off a guy in a street fight, which is no disqualification. There wasn't a winner yet. Gargano should have kicked the hell out of him another 10 times. The DDT in the wood, that was impressive. Yeah, but the fact that he got the pin with the handcuffs still on.
He kept him on.
But
it was incredible.
It's just, it was the purpose, because the match was so good that I just hated to see officials getting involved in the ending like that.
I don't think it hurt the match.
No, the match was still incredible, but it was just like, why that kind of ending? Why?
Well, I don't know. But
I wasn't a fan of that ending. I wasn't.
I wasn't really. I didn't even notice it, to be honest. It didn't really stick out to me that the officials pulling him away was a factor. It really didn't stick out to me like that. I did like that DDT that he did, and
yes,
yeah, I think that match outdid their New Orleans match. Their New Orleans match was more wrestling oriented.
Yeah,
and it was good too. I wouldn't mind watching either of them.
But this one was just a straight up street fight from the whole way.
Right, and then this Last Man Standing match, I think is going to have an element of both. You have wrestling, and then you're going to have the street fight element.
I think you might start with wrestling early on, and then it's going to devolve into a street fight like atmosphere.
And don't be surprised you see Candice LeRae get involved. Don't be surprised, you get everything that's been going on in this feud. Don't be surprised that it'll all be.
I think it's all going to come to a head in this match.
Exactly.
And this match will beat any match on SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They should start doing SummerSlam on Saturdays and have NXT after it.
So on your pre-show, it'll be the SummerSlam card, and then your main card will be the NXT Takeover.
Yeah, it's just like Mania 29. It's like the Raw after Mania with the 7-hour Mania pre-show, because the Raw after Mania was better. But anyway, moving on from that, we're gonna do our fantasy warfare segment, but we're doing it a little differently this time. Wilson's gonna name someone, and I'm gonna name someone, And that's just what the match will be, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
So this could be horribly. Usually we have some good matches. This one might be bad.
Yes. So, just start with the first person on your list. Is it singles?
Yes, singles. We'll do the tag team one last.
All right. So
my tag team is going to be the most obscure tag team in the history of the world, by the way.
All right.
Some of you might know it. Some of you probably won't. Most of you probably won't. My first singles guy is 2000 American Badass Undertaker.
My first is Shawn Michaels from 1996.
Wow. Well, if you want to meet in the middle there with 1998, there was a long-standing feud there, going from 97-98 with Taker and Michaels. So, this would be basically Shawn Michaels as commissioner versus returning American Badass Undertaker.
Oh, you want to meet in the middle at 98?
Well, I mean, that's...
Michaels in 96 is at his prime.
Yeah, and, well, even Michaels in 98, because he broke his back against Taker, I think, is what...
Yeah.
In the casket match. Choked him on the casket, I think.
He threw him over and he landed up.
Yeah.
Properly. Yeah, you're right, 98. So.
Well, I mean, take your pick in that feud. I know Michaels went over at Hell in a Cell and the Rumble in 98 because of Kane. And then Taker got him at Mania a couple times, so... I mean, that was a dozen years later,
but Taker was... You're talking 98, Taker was also...
Even 2000, he's still in his prime. He's only, 30 maybe at that point?
Yeah.
What's Taker now? 2018? 55 something?
57 around there.
Something like that. So he's not even... Yeah, I remember, I think going into maybe 20, he was 40.
He was 39.
39, so he was 35 in 2000. So he's still in his prime at that point.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know what?
When you look,
I don't know. I'm going to go with Michaels.
I think if we're talking 96 Michaels, even against 2000 Taker, it's Michaels.
Okay, so
it is,
98 you'll give it to Taker?
I mean, the matches happened, even though they were under interference circumstances. Michaels always won. And I still think if we're going back to 2000, if Michaels was wrestling at that time, he would have won.
Okay. I'll give you that.
All right, the next singles guy I have is Drew McIntyre.
Ric Flair from 1979.
Whew! Versus McIntyre today?
Yeah.
Flair from 79. Oof. Versus McIntyre. I feel like it's hard to say that McIntyre would beat Flair from that era.
He wouldn't.
If we're talking Flair from like 2005, McIntyre's going to kick him in the face and he might die.
Yeah. But this is Flair in his prime.
I mean, McIntyre's in his prime. Well, yeah. I mean, you might say he's past his prime age-wise, but he's in his prime now, too. But Flair, because it's Flair, it's for Flair.
Moving on.
Third guy, because I couldn't really think of anybody interesting. I chose Bobby Lashley.
Eddie Guerrero from 2004.
Oof.
Eddie Guerrero's going over.
Oh, he is. I'm just saying, if Eddie Guerrero was alive, that feud probably would have happened at some point. Because Lashley was on Smackdown in 06.
Yeah.
So if Eddie Guerrero never passed away, that probably going to happen at some point.
It would have. Eddie Guerrero's going over. You can't convince me.
He is. Especially if that happened in like 07.
Yeah, you can't.
When Lashley was greener than, well, he wasn't really that green.
He was over.
He was over, certainly. I think he's more over then than he is now. But Eddie Guerrero is definitely going over, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was just saying Lashley, I'm like, I can't really think of anyone. They just throw Lashley out there because he came back recently.
Sure.
For my tag team one, I picked a tag team that chances are one or two of you listening actually know who they are. Most of you probably don't.
Please don't.
So I want Wilson to give his tag team first.
My tag team's gonna shit on your tag team.
Who is it?
Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit.
I knew that's who you were gonna pick. When you were telling me off mic that it was gonna be the former first tag team champions.
Yep.
Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit versus former WCW tag team champions, the Natural Born Thrillers, Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare.
Are you kidding me?
And yes, your tag team is making my tag team tap out like little bitches.
Yes, they are. Kurt Angle and Benoit in 02? In 2002, they were machines.
Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Yeah, my tag team would shit on your tag team.
Absolutely. But come on, that's a great tag team I picked. The other one I was thinking, another one I almost pulled out, the one that I originally told you off mic was going to be the most obscure one. I almost said Chronic. Silence from Wilson. I can't remember the two guys' names. It's like Brian Adams and someone, I think.
Yeah, and something Christopher, yeah. They were around in like 2001.
They had a feud with, I think, the Brothers of Destruction for the tag titles and
the
lost.
WCW tag titles. But mind you, the only reason, again, useless facts that I know, the only reason they got that match was because they were friends.
Really?
That's the only reason they were friends with Taker. That's the only reason they got that match.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fact that you didn't need to be reminded of. The Undertaker is a former WCW tag team champion. So is Kane. Now, I'm going to put WCW in air quotes there because it was on WE television.
It's still a WCW tag title. The Rock's a former WCW champion.
That is true.
So is David Arquette.
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen, because I have to kill Wilson now.
David Arquette's a former world champion.
Oh, God. But that was actually like the legit world title. Can we point out that 17 years ago, the SummerSlam main event was the WCW world title? Rock and Booker T closed SummerSlam 01. It was not Angle and Austin.
You know what? Now that we're in the topic of SummerSlam, and SummerSlam is this Sunday, let's take a few minutes. We'll end the show soon to talk SummerSlam in history. So all right? We're in 2018, right? So 10 years ago. Let's go 10 years. 10 years ago, SummerSlam 2008. Main event was Edge versus The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell.
Yes, I remember that because the fire came out of the ring after the match.
Right.
That was when he got last rided through the ring, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. WWE Champ, again, this is off the top of my head because I know these things, unfortunately. WWE Championship match. WWE Champion was Triple H defending against the Great Khali.
On SummerSlam?
At SummerSlam, brother.
That happened?
On pay-per-view.
That wasn't just a bad dream?
I can look it up for you.
No, I'm good. I don't even remember that happening.
Yep. And obviously, Triple H went over.
I'm glad I don't remember that happening. Oh, my God. The Great Khali was given a SummerSlam main event slot?
I don't know. And the world title, which I guess you could replace with the Universal title, was the champion at the time, CM Punk, defending against JBL. And the opening match of the show, by the way.
How is that a SummerSlam? Who paid for that?
I don't know.
Wow.
Let's go 2008. Let's go to 2001, did you just said. Booker T and The Rock for the WCW title.
Angle and Austin.
The
opening match was Lance Storm versus Edge, the Intercontinental title.
Right.
And that also featured the ladder match between Jeff Hardy and RVD for the Hardcore title, I believe.
SummerSlam Classic. See, if you're listening, look up SummerSlam 2001. Go on the WWE Network. SummerSlam 2001 for the Hardcore Championship. Jeff Hardy versus RVD in a ladder match for the title. You won't be disappointed.
What?
I believe they also had one the month prior at Invasion.
Yeah, I believe there was 2 matches, yeah.
Right, this is in 2001.
I want to jump ahead to next year, 2002.
Oh, that was a good year.
That was a good SummerSlam. It started off with Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
Which was a great match.
It was.
We had the non-sanctioned fight between Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
We had Kurt Angle. I'm sorry, it was Eddie Guerrero versus Edge.
That was on the card?
That was on the card.
I know the main event was The Rock versus Brock Lesnar.
For the title.
Brock went over. That's where Brock Lesnar got his first world title.
Yep. He did mention Triple H and Shawn Michaels, right?
Yes, that was... And then I think it was a week after that SummerSlam where Triple H was awarded the World Heavyweight title on Raw by Eric Bischoff, and they split the two titles. Mm-hmm. And Brock went exclusively to SmackDown.
Yep. Let's go to SummerSlam 2004.
SummerSlam 04.
If you want to see a classic, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle took place on that show. Great match. Kurt Angle actually went over. And
that was a WrestleMania rematch from WrestleMania 20.
If you want to see Randy Orton become the youngest world heavyweight champion in history, he faced then champion Chris Benoit in the main event.
Wait. I thought Randy Orton just found the belt at SummerSlam and just picked it up. According to WWE history, Randy Orton just found the belt at SummerSlam, apparently.
According to history, Benoit never existed.
Basically how it happened. But yeah, that was a great match.
Triple H headlined that pay-per-view with Eugene.
That was.
04.
Oh god, that was 04. I thought it was 05 for a second. But yeah, that was 04.
No, 05. Eugene faced Kurt Angle for the his Kurt Angle Invitational.
Oh my god! And he won the gold medals, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
He didn't. No, I thought he did. I remember when Kurt Angle was doing that. I remember Matt Stryker was an opponent on the Kurt Angle Invitational.
He almost won that.
Yeah.
No, like, literally, like I read an interview that he didn't have to win the match. He just had to last 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And I read that Kurt Angle. Well, this is Matt Stryker talking.
Yeah.
That Kurt Angle wasn't aware of the time expiring. So
he wasn't?
He had 30 seconds left. And the finish was that obviously that Stryker was going to tap. Mm-hmm. So Stryker was looking at the time saying, what the hell, why isn't he making me tap? And then he hits the low blow that he was supposed to do or whatever. And then Stryker tells the referee, we've got 20 seconds, we got 10 seconds left, 15, whatever.
Ring the bell.
And then the ref panics and tells Kurt, you have 5 fucking seconds left to finish this. And then Kurt gets him in the ankle lock and bends it all the way back. And then Stryker taps with 1 second left.
Can't believe
1 second
they even
left.
got that off.
Yeah. Anyways, besides the point. SummerSlam 06.
What was it, SummerSlam? I can't even remember all these SummerSlams now.
John Cena facing Edge was the champion for the WWE Championship.
Oh, yep, that was in Boston.
That was in Boston.
Because I went to Bridgeport the next night for Raw, where Edge debuted. He debuted the Ray Lawler belt, and Jeff Hardy came back.
I was watching that in my house.
Lita dressed like a fucking slut with her tits hanging out.
Oh, Lita was hot back then.
Oh my god. Threw the championship in the Long Island Sound, which was obviously a replica belt.
You can tell, too.
Yeah, and then later on, Cena and Edge brawled. Edge got tossed into Long Island Sound.
Yep.
Probably got some diseases from that. And then it led to the feud at the main event, TLC the next month, where Cena got the belt back, or not at TLC, at Unforgiven, in the TLC match in Toronto, where Cena beat Edge in his hometown after Edge beat Cena in his hometown, etc., etc.
King Booker was a world champion at that SummerSlam.
Oof. Who did he face? Batista?
Yes.
That makes sense.
I want to talk about SummerSlam disappointments. SummerSlam 2010. The Nexus versus Team WWE.
Because John Cena just had to bury everybody.
We watched that at my house.
How mad were I remember actually jumping out of my chair or off your bed or whatever when Daniel Bryan came out as the 7th member of Team WWE.
Yep.
Because we didn't know that was going to happen.
Nope.
And so that was kept quiet somehow. I mean, there was rumors of that, but like no one actually thought he didn't know he was.
Because he had just gotten fired in June,
and he had been booked for some indie shows. We went to
we
saw him in an indie show in October after he came back.
That's
he was
right.
U.S. champion.
We did go to that, yeah.
We went to a show for a promotion locally called Northeast Wrestling in October of 2010.
October 3rd.
Why do you know the exact date?
Because I'm a virgin, that's why.
The main event of the show was Shelton Benjamin versus then U.S. champion Daniel Bryan on an indie show. Yep. It was non-title, but it was on an indie show because Bryan had the date booked before he returned to WWE, and WWE was kind enough to let him keep the date. So that, I mean, I guess that's something because it was they let him do it.
Yeah, let's go to SummerSlam, Summer of Punk, 2011.
The Summer of Punk, the good times, where they had the bullshit champion John Cena, who wasn't even in the tournament for the title, face the legitimate champion CM Punk, and yet somehow that counts as a John Cena title reign.
Well, the way that they presented that was that it doesn't make sense because they recognize Punk as still the WWE champion even after he left and during that tournament, right? And then they recognized Rey Mysterio as champion when he won the title in the tournament. And they recognized Cena as champion when he beat Mysterio for it, right?
That he was given a match the same night for whatever reason.
Right, which irritated me at the time.
Like, couldn't even do it the next week. Like, come on.
Right. And then when Cena wins it, Punk comes back and he's still the champion. And the way they say it is that they're both the champion. They both represent the WWE championship.
No, I know.
So Punk is half of the WWE champion, Cena's the other half. So even regardless, if Punk had lost the title to somebody, Cena would still be WWE champion.
Yeah. Here's my thing that pisses me off about John Cena. How he says he earned everything. He wasn't even in the tournament.
No.
And then beats the guy who won the tournament in the same night he wrestled already. It was like an hour and a half later. So that's one title reign. Another one is Survivor Series 08, where he was just given a world title match against Chris Jericho in his return.
He also
then another one against Del Rio,
October 2013.
like the following year, a couple years later, in his return, just wins, and then makes Sandow job out the next night.
Oh, that's right.
After Sandow beat the shit out, because Cena was already hurt, it was still recovering. Sandow beat the piss out of him with like a chair, I think, in the briefcase, and then Cena still going around 20 minutes and makes him job. Like, it was a joke. Cena is just it's a joke. You know, he's a great guy with Make-A-Wish and whatnot and all that stuff, but there are a lot of questionable things in his career.
Right.
But regardless.
Anyways, SummerSlam, let me think. let's see. We can go to SummerSlam 07.
We skipped over 07, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Is that Orton and Cena, the title?
Orton and Cena for the title.
During that trilogy of, well, supposed to be a trilogy.
Trilogy.
Well,
it's
where it was supposed to be SummerSlam Unforgiven and No Mercy, and then Cena got injured, and that would be Triple H and Orton there. But yeah, okay, that was one of the many trilogies.
That was one of match 897.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, that match happened a lot of times. Yeah, I didn't really care much for that feud. What was the world title match in that show? Undertaker in that?
That was the world champion, the Great Khali versus Batista.
I don't know how I could forget that because I went to a Smackdown taping in 07. The main event of that Smackdown taping was a WrestleMania 23 rematch between Kane and the Great Khali, and the show ended with Ric Flair in the Vice Grip.
Can I just point out?
I'm pretty sure another match in that card was like Finlay versus Jamie Noble or something.
Didn't you say that? This is irrelevant to this, but didn't you say that you went to a SmackDown a few years ago, like 2010, 2011, and then you met Vince McMahon at Linda McMahon's
yes, that
setting?
was 2010, yeah.
That was 2010? Okay. You met her at one of Linda's campaign shows or whatever?
It was election night.
Okay.
SmackDown happened to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut that night, on the same election night for Linda running for U.S. Senate. And I went to the campaign thing right after SmackDown ended. I drove up to Hartford from Bridgeport, and I met Linda, Vince, and Shane. So that worked out well for me that way. Yeah, and we told Vince, me and our buddy Nick, who was with me at that night, we told Vince that we actually just came from SmackDown.
Yeah.
And he asked us how the show was, which, by the way, the show was horrible. One of the matches on the show was Chris Masters versus Tyler Rex on SmackDown, mind you.
It was on TV.
The main event, the main event of main event, the other show that was on WGN or whatever it was, mind you. That featured Luke Gallows versus Vance Archer.
No, you weren't kidding.
And the main event of SmackDown was like a 10-man tag or something. It was the Nexus without Wade Barrett versus like Edge, Kane, Batista, and Rey Mysterio or something. And maybe it was a 4-on-4.
So it was a glorified squash match.
Yeah, it was like the Nexus without the leader. For whatever reason, they were on SmackDown that week. I'm not sure what was going on there.
After being on Raw for
they just showed up on SmackDown for whatever reason. I'm not even sure they're on SmackDown again after that. I mean, this is just it was horrible.
It was a clusterfuck.
But let's put it this way: the show was horrible. We told Vince, "Great show. Can we get a picture with you, sir?" And he's like, "Oh, absolutely." Puts his arm around us, takes a picture. I'm not even like smiling in the picture because I'm not even sure. Like, I couldn't even believe he actually said yes. I was too nervous to even go up to him originally.
Right.
I did, and I was surprised that yes. I thought he was just telling me to piss off because he's Vince McMahon.
And now what have you said, Chris? What are you going to school for? Journalism, really? Listen, it's funny you say that because a new hiring position opened on the Raw announce team. Would you be interested?
Probably would have passed the fuck out. I'd be like,
would have passed out.
I'd be like, where's the pen to sign? Can I suck your dick, sir?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I am kidding. Kinda.
If Vince McMahon, you know what? Let's not get into that. Because I know you would.
No, but yeah, anyway. We're back to SummerSlam. We got off topic there completely. Off where the fuck... You know what? Let's just wrap this show up because I'm fucking... Sorry for my swearing, by the way, if your younger kids are listening to this.
Yeah.
Try to keep it PG. Like, WWE is.
Right. So
Didn't do a very good job of that this week.
No.
Swearing every 5 seconds over here.
So if you listen to that, don't go to college.
Yeah.
Don't go to college.
Yeah, let's recap today's episode. NXT Takeover is going to be way better.
Yeah.
The match of the whole weekend will be Ciampa Gargano.
Yep.
College is a lie. Don't go unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Right. Don't trust women unless you're marrying them.
Yes, that as well. And, that's about it.
And, so if you have any... Yeah, next week we're going to do fantasy matches again. Probably not in the same format that we did today, but if you have any fantasy matches that you could think of, let us know. Yeah,
let us know. Comment, subscribe. End of the Day Entertainment on Facebook. Next week or the next episode, we're going to talk about SummerSlam. We'll talk about the fallout of NXT and SummerSlam. If there's any matches announced for Hell in a Cell that come out, we'll talk about that. Sure, there'll be some SummerSlam rematches going on there. We'll go through everything. I am going to be, for whatever reason, attending the Elias concert in New York this Saturday.
You're going to that?
I am going to that, actually, yes. We're possibly going to go to NXT after if we can get tickets for cheap enough. But it's currently sold out.
Is that taking place in... Oh, it's taking place in the same arena, isn't it?
No. The Something to Wrestle With podcast with Bruce Pritchard is being recorded on Saturday at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. That's taking place at 2 p.m. Elias is on stage after that at 5 p.m. or doors open at 5 or something. And then Elias is probably on like 6 to 7 to play his EP or whatever.
But here's the thing. Doesn't WWE tape NXT the same night as TakeOver? Like
I believe so,
before?
yeah. No, it's before. They do the Wednesday taping before.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's just how it works. Yeah, but Elias is probably going to end around 7, so people can get across town over to 4 miles away to Brooklyn in time for the main event, 8 o'clock show to start for the main card. Nothing overlaps that day at all. So
you're going to get 2 shows that day.
Well, if I go.
No, you're going to get 3 shows. The Elias concert, NXT taping, and then TakeOver.
If I get over to TakeOver in time.
Yeah.
I don't have tickets to TakeOver yet. I'm hoping I can get tickets to that, but the Barclays...
You can get them now?
No, I wasn't planning going to TakeOver because I have SummerSlam tickets.
It's a no-brainer. You got to TakeOver.
Yes, I know, but SummerSlam went on sale back in January. I had a pre-sale for Raw 25. I didn't know when this TakeOver went on sale, so I don't have tickets for it. Even last year, I bought tickets for that TakeOver 2 days before the show.
Yeah, you did.
I'm pretty sure it's sold out in Ticketmaster now, but I'm going to try to get into that show, and I can recap the whole weekend for you. I'll probably, insert some pictures in the, in next week's video. Check End of the Day Entertainment coming this week. This weekend I'm going to post today's video podcast. It'll be on YouTube and End of the Day Entertainment's Facebook page.
I'll share it on Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube.
You can find him at Wilson A. Detrez on Facebook. I'm Chris Day on Facebook. We'll be there. We'll share everything. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel End of the Day Entertainment on YouTube as well.
All right, guys.
And we will talk to you soon.
Talk to you next week. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Bye.